Right, what is happening, people? So, I'm down at the Fiesta. I've been chipping away at this, I don't know, on and off for months now, and it's just been little bits and little bits. I've had to do like a rocker cover gasket because it was pissing oil. I've had to do fuel pump wiring, put in new relays, whole new wiring. Did my own wiring and relays because it used to run off of the ECU. For some reason it stopped working. A bit of a headache, so just bypass that, and put in a new facet fuel pump. I did a silver top because I just felt like the solid state wasn't really up to the job. I just don't like solid states. I might have mentioned that in another video, yeah, so I've been tinkering, so I'm going to put in some clips of some bits that I've done. Nothing crazy, nothing major, so nothing that warranted a full video yet. But what I'll do now is I'll bring you up to speed, chuck in a few clips and just show you where we're at. Now I bought myself a new torch because, as I might have mentioned in previous videos, the lighting down here is absolutely dog shit. But sometimes I fail to recharge the torches I buy and I end up buying new torches. So first of all, let's have a quick look at the engine bay. So we got the 1.8 Zetec from my Fiesta RS 1800, which is 130 spec. So for the Ford Boss, you'll know that's the better 1.8 engine and there's less to fuck around with when you're putting it in. When you put in a 2 litre, you change the water pump to a 1.8, or they do a reverse pulley, fucking about. So this is a really good option, 130 horsepower, straight out of the box. And I took this car Part X against my Series 1 a couple of years ago, and it had the inlet off of it, as I say, like just loads and loads of bits. Like the fuel pump wasn't working off of the key, so you almost had to, like, I'm not even gonna tell you what you used to have to do because it was dangerous. But so I fixed all that, sorted all of that, got the inlet all back on, new gaskets, new bolts, all that. It had a RS turbo crossover pipe going across, which was just flapping about, so I've got a standard plastic pipe now to put back on. Then I'll just have to mount that somehow, secure it. It also had an ST170 manifold, which looked pretty cool, but it was dog shit. What it did is the manifold came out here and lent on the end pipe. There we go. The manifold came out, if I can juggle this. Hey. So the manifold came out and lent on the rad that was here, and where it was leaning on the rad, it heated up the end cap, split it, so it pissed out all its water. Evidence. So I dug out a load of radiators. I'm talking like 3 or 4 radiators. Escal ones, Fiesta ones, XR2 ones, trying to make it work. Moral of the story, it didn't work. So yeah, nothing ended up working, nothing fit. So I decided to bin off the ST170 manifold and source a standard manifold and downpipe. Now, I haven't fitted that properly yet, I just trial fitted it. I was waiting on a new gasket, waiting on a few bits, and here we are. So, the current ongoings. I got myself, well, first of all, new gasket for the manifold. So then we'll be sticking the manifold and downpipe on. I got myself a custom rad from Colin at Creative Aluminium Fabrications. Now this is a nice bit of kit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy with this. This is really nice. I offered it up the other day, and basically we just drill our own holes for the mountings. I do need a cap, which I hadn't anticipated needing a cap, so I need a cap. But this is a nice bit of kit. So I also got a new flexi because the old flexi was mash up and ting. It's got some fuel hose as well because we had a little fuel hose issue. So some of the fuel hose here is fucking shit. So that's getting binned off, and we'll put some new fuel hose in there. And what else? I think that's about it. So yeah, today I'll stick the manifold gasket on, bolt the manifold up, bolt the downpipe up for real. I might get a new lambda sensor because might as well, right? Yeah, I mean the old one's not amazing, but I mean if it works, it works. But so might get a new lambda, but for now, manifold gasket, manifold downpipe, maybe offer up the rad, put the rad in, and then underneath suss out where I'm going to stick the flexi and try and join it up to the existing system. If I can't do that, I'm going to have to get someone to weld me up something and make it all join, but I don't have the facilities to do that right down here. I mean, you barely got fucking light, so I don't have any power, and I don't have the skills. So just got the old torch in position. This might seem like a silly thing to people, torch, but I work with my phone all the time, so this to me is like, oh look, it rotates, it bends, bop it, squeeze it, throw it to your friend. Yeah, loving that. So let's cue some of the work that I've done on the Fiesta and chuck in a little bit that we're gonna do. I'll run the tape. Yeah.
Spin round, doesn't it? Fuck
So I've got the rad out, and rad on the right came out of this really thin, really short, not very tall. Rad on the left, one I thought might work with it. Longer, taller, thicker. Also doesn't have the fan switch in the end cap, so kind of gave up on that idea. Basically, I'll tell you what the issue is. That is a ST170 exhaust manifold, and it just takes up way too much room. So yeah, I reckon different manifold and downpipe, and then get a decent rad and just fuck this old standard shit off. Right, so basically what happened, yeah, I've come and have a look. I went to pull the manifold off, but I've undone the bolts, can't get the manifold off because the downpipe is welded, so it won't come up and the manifold won't go down. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the downpipe off, get the manifold out the top, downpipe down the bottom, and then we're going to stick the standard stuff on, which is in two pieces. Once that's on, we need to figure out how we're going to join up to the rest of the system. We'll take some measurements and figure that out, might put a flexi in there or something, There is a fuel leak somewhere over here. I can't remember what hose it was. I've got a feeling it's that crusty one there. But so we'll be changing a bit of fuel hose here and there, and there's a couple of little bits to do. Nothing crazy, but I did manage to get some of these bad boys. Yeah, these were missing. That's got a broken tab. That's got a broken tab. Look at that. Doesn't fit. Come on, man. Why? Well, that's a fail. I prefer it without them anyway. Air holes. Just kidding, I'm going to try and fit them properly later. Right. Let's go underneath it and start chopping. Oh, I need a battery. Why?
I found a battery over there.
Huh?
Battery. There's a battery on the floor over there. I'm pretty sure there's a battery there. Battery.
Fucking kid. Don't know who his dad is, but his dad's probably not funny either.
There we go.
Wow, I need to go and get a jack because this stupid car's too low. So. Oh, low car problems. I have to jack this right up. Right, moment of truth. Oh my gosh. Flexi removal. Right. Was all of that for no reason?
Need to fidget around with it.
Yeah. Just come in. Right. I've unplugged the lambda sensor, but it is cool. Let me see what it's cool on. Oh man. Come on. Yes. Fuck you, you piece of shit. Alright.
New hand.
You know what they say? Shouldn't use silver socket on an impact gun. Should use a black one. But you know what else they say? Fuck the rules. That is toasty. Nah. Right. This gasket has seen better days, so we won't reuse this. So let's fuck that off. But for the meantime, we'll wait for another gasket before we put another manifold on. Let's unpack the radiator. give it to Colin. His packaging's on point. So this is Colin of Creative Aluminium Fabrication. Let's have a look at this. So if we've got this on, this down pipe underneath. It's close to the star motor. And that will sit there. And then this will back up. So we need to measure this and measure that circumference and see what we can do. Hello. Right, so we've just bolted up them downpipe bolts, position the downpipe, and then here we are. We've got a flexi, we've got the exhaust, and we've got the downpipe. So I did actually measure, and I did know that the exhaust is a different diameter to the downpipe, and I got a flexi that, obviously with a bit of messing around, that goes over there. But do you think it goes over the downpipe? Of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't. Why would it? So we are going to need to get something done here to make that work. So this. Okay, let's go there. So we drill these tabs here, mount this to there and there, and then we've got this bottom hose down there. Downpipe is the same diameter as our flexi, and I had a feeling it would be, but I couldn't get a downpipe that also acts as a reducer. There's nothing there's nothing off the shelf for that sort of thing. So at least we've got the manifold on, new gasket, we've got the downpipe on, lambers in, and we're just gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with the flexi. Next thing really is putting the rad in. One thing what I did notice when we trial fitted the rad is that the top hose is in the wrong position for the outlet. It's close, but it's in the wrong position. So I think we're gonna have to cut some of this out, move it along, and then join it. So I'm gonna have to get a joiner. But what I'm gonna do now, I think, is just trial fit the rad and see where we go. So basically, I've replaced the fuel hose, need a Jubilee, so we're a Jubilee short. Done the manifold and the downpipe, but a flexi doesn't bolt up. So now we're going to put the radiator in, and no doubt something else isn't going to line up. My guess is it's this hose. Right, so I don't know how people are mounting these, but Little bit disappointed. I thought this was a bolt-in jobby. Now, if you put the hoses in, the bottom hose is a little bit kinked. At the minute, I've tucked this into little tabs on the front panel. If you can see, but there's little tabs in the front panel there. I've just tucked that in. If we pull that out, its natural position won't. So like that bottom hose looks like it wants to come off because of this hose. So this hose needs to be shortened to allow it to go back over towards the little hose. If we can do that, that might be the easiest way. But then, I don't know if I can do this. Basically, these tabs here, there's me thinking we'll be bolting these up to that, nice and simple. But I am really not convinced that we can get that to work very well. I think this bottom hose, to make sure it's not kinked, this rad needs to go right over to like there. I'm fighting some resistance, I'm putting some force on it, so it's not ideal. But basically, if we can get that to sit like that and that, so if we can bolt that up and bolt that up, this hose obviously needs shortening. I don't know if you can see that on camera. This hose here needs shortening. So, but then also that means the bottom of the rad doesn't go in them tabs. If it goes in them tabs, it's too high. So the bottom of the rad will be floating. So I think what we'll have to do is push it across, lift it up, get that one, I think get that one bolted in, shorten the hose. Right, so we briefly chucked everything back together. I just chucked the air filter and the MAF back on. So there's no radiator, but I've just connected the battery, and now we're going to see if she'll start. Obviously we can't start it for long because there's no water, but we should have fuel pumps. Because I've done them, the wiring to the ignition, so it should work on the key now. I have disconnected the fuel lines and obviously just reconnected them, so there might be a little bit of fuel that needs to get up to the rail, but yeah, should we see what happens? It's out of gear in it, give that a little wobble. Yeah. Well, we've got fuel pumps. That's all we got.
I'm riding with the crew on a dumb flex. There's just a couple things I do when the sun sets. Ignition on the button, I just push to start. I love driving, you think a brother couldn't park. I wouldn't bark, I'm no poser, I don't look the part. Cruising so slow, it's like I got someone pushing the car.